She looked over her shoulder for exactly 1 second, and that 1 second sent the internet into a frenzy. Because a man had just dropped to one knee in front of Alex Eala, and within minutes, people were asking the question nobody expected to be asking: was Alex Eala engaged? But here's what makes this story completely different from the viral clip everyone thought they were watching. Alex wasn't looking at the cameras. She wasn't looking at the man on his knee. She wasn't looking for security. She was looking for one person in a crowd packed with hundreds of people, her dad. And once you understand why she looked for him, that tiny moment suddenly means something much bigger. Because this wasn't really a story about a proposal. It was a story about who Alex Eala instinctively turns to when the script disappears. To understand why that one glance exploded across social media, though, you have to rewind. Not 1 day, not 1 hour, 7 days. Just a week earlier, Alex was still doing what most rising tennis players do: playing matches, training, traveling, competing, building her career one result at a time. But something had changed. The attention around her was getting impossible to ignore. Then came the headline. A major sports outlet didn't simply call Alex a promising young player. It described her as the biggest new thing in tennis. That's a very different level of attention. Because tennis has no shortage of talented young players. What it does not have every week is a player whose presence starts changing what happens around the tournament itself. And Alex was beginning to do exactly that. A former world number 5, now working behind an ESPN desk, looked at the crowds following Alex and described them as extraordinary. Then another respected voice in tennis raised an even bigger question. If the crowds around Alex kept growing, should she be moved to bigger courts? Think about what that means. A young player isn't asking for a bigger stage. The audience is creating enough demand to make people wonder whether the stage itself is big enough. That's when this stopped looking like ordinary hype. It started looking like momentum. And then another number appeared, her latest career-high ranking. In tennis, rankings aren't just numbers on a screen. They determine doors. They determine opportunities. They tell the world where a player stands. And Alex had just pushed through another one. So when she woke up in New York on the morning of this event, she wasn't simply another tennis player making a promotional appearance. She was walking into a city where more and more people already knew her name. 10 in the morning, 5th Avenue. And this wasn't some tiny promotional booth hidden inside a shopping center. It was a major flagship event built around Alex. Her name was everywhere. Merchandise, music, food celebrating her Filipino heritage, fans, cameras. The entire atmosphere was designed around one rising star. And everything should have gone exactly according to plan. Smile, photos, interviews, meet the fans, move on. But then someone walked toward Alex, a content creator. And suddenly, the entire script disappeared. He stopped in front of her. Then he dropped to one knee. Just like that. For a moment, nobody knew what was happening. Was it part of the event? Was it a joke? Was it real? Was Alex actually about to receive a proposal in front of a crowd on 5th Avenue? And then came the moment that changed everything. Alex laughed. Not the polished smile athletes give when cameras are rolling. A genuine laugh. The kind that happens before you have time to think about how you're supposed to react. Then she turned her head, and she looked into the crowd. She was searching for someone. One face, one person. Her dad. And that tiny movement completely changed the story. Because suddenly, this wasn't about the man kneeling in front of her anymore. It was about the person Alex instinctively wanted to find when something unexpected happened. Think about how strange that is. She's surrounded by cameras, brand representatives, fans, media, one of the biggest promotional moments of her young career. And yet her first instinct wasn't to play to the cameras. It was to find her father. That's the kind of moment you can't manufacture. You can script an interview. You can plan an event. You can design a campaign. You can sell merchandise. But you cannot script someone's first instinct when they're genuinely caught off guard. And the internet noticed. Fast. Within minutes, people were replaying the clip. Screenshots appeared. Comments multiplied. And one word kept appearing. Engaged. Because if you watch the video for 2 seconds without context, that's exactly what it looks like. A man on one knee, Alex reacting. Alex turning toward the crowd. People filled in the blanks themselves. But then came the missing piece. Her father stepped forward. No panic, no confrontation. No dramatic reaction. Just a calm handshake that immediately made it obvious. This was a joke. Alex wasn't engaged. There was no secret announcement. No surprise wedding story. No romantic bombshell. The entire thing was a playful stunt. But by then, it didn't matter. The internet had already done what the internet does best. It had taken one tiny moment, removed the context, and turned it into a mystery. And strangely enough, the misunderstanding ended up revealing something real. Because beneath the viral clip was a young athlete who had suddenly become one of the most recognizable new faces in tennis. Yet, when something completely unexpected happened, she didn't become a celebrity. She became a daughter. She looked for her dad. And that is the part people remembered. But the day wasn't finished. Not even close, because that same night, the setting changed completely. The noise of Fifth Avenue gave way to the lights of Arthur Ashe Stadium, the biggest court at the US Open, and Alex wasn't there simply watching from the stands. She was part of the spotlight, standing alongside other young players being positioned as the future of the sport. Think about the contrast. Morning, Alex is laughing as a man drops to one knee in front of her. Afternoon, the internet is debating whether she's engaged. Night, she's standing under the lights of the biggest stage in American tennis. One day, two completely different versions of Alex. One was funny, one was serious, but both told the same story. Her popularity was no longer something happening quietly in the background. It was becoming impossible to ignore. And there were more signs. Merchandise carrying her name began disappearing from shelves. An exclusive shirt priced at just over $40 reportedly sold out quickly. In Toronto, tournament officials had already acknowledged the extraordinary demand surrounding her matches. In Washington, crowds made it obvious that Alex wasn't simply attracting Filipino support. She was creating a fan base that traveled with her. Different tournament, different city, different stadium, same phenomenon. People wanted to see Alex Eala. And that brings us to the question that matters more than the proposal itself. Why her? Why has Alex suddenly become so difficult for people to look away from? Yes, the tennis matters. Without the results, none of this exists. But there is something else happening. Alex feels real. In an era when every public appearance can be rehearsed, edited, branded, and polished, the moments people connect with most are often the ones nobody planned. A laugh, a reaction, a glance, a mistake, a moment when the athlete forgets the cameras are there, and Alex gave people exactly that. The fake proposal was supposed to be a funny moment. Instead, it accidentally exposed something much more personal. It showed the relationship between a daughter and the father who has been there long before the crowds, long before the headlines, long before the rankings. He wasn't standing beside her because a camera needed him there. He was there because he has been part of this journey from the beginning. And when Alex needed to make sense of a completely unexpected moment, she looked for him. That's why the clip hit differently. Not because a man got down on one knee, not because people briefly thought Alex was engaged, and not because another viral celebrity moment appeared on the internet. It hit because, for one completely unscripted second, millions of people saw something they weren't supposed to see. The person behind the athlete. The daughter behind the rising star. And maybe that's the most interesting part of Alex Eala's rise. The bigger she becomes, the more cameras follow her. The more crowds gather, the more headlines appear, the more people want a piece of her story. But when the unexpected happens, she still looks for the same person she did before any of those headlines existed. Her dad. So no, Alex Eala is not engaged. The proposal was a joke. The internet got the story wrong, but in a strange way, that misunderstanding created a much better story. Because while everyone else was staring at the man on one knee, Alex was looking somewhere else. And that one glance told us more about her than any headline ever could. It showed that underneath the rankings, underneath the pressure, underneath the growing fame and the massive crowds, There is still a young woman who hasn't forgotten the people who were there before anyone else knew her name. And maybe that's why this moment will last longer than the trend itself. The proposal will eventually disappear from people's feeds. The comments will slow down. The next headline will arrive. But that one instinctive glance? That stays. Because when the entire world was watching Alex Eala was looking for her dad. World was watching Alex Eala was looking for her dad.